It's all about flow and pace today, qualifying in Qatar, a high-speed test that will set the grid for tomorrow's race. So welcome along.
Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome back to my F1 24 career mode journey. There are 2 races left to go in Season 3, and here at Qatar, we can wrap it all up. If you haven't seen the last installment, do be sure to check that one out before you see this one. And if you have missed a few, you can go back and check them out on my playlist, F1 24 Career Mode. Here we are then, the penultimate weekend of the season, and with a 38-point gap coming into it, we can clinch the title here. And that is a very good start to doing so. Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Sainz and Pourchaire removed at Q1. But with Norris being 38 points behind, he needs to outscore me by 12 or more points to keep his hopes going into the final race at Abu Dhabi. Verstappen, with 42 points, needs to outscore me by 16 or more points. If neither of these drivers do that, we will clinch the title here in Qatar. So that is how we do it. First things first though, let's get into qualifying. This is sprint qualifying, and it looks like it's pretty good for us as we've topped the timesheets once again. Ferrari looking good. We have had a second upgrade removed here for being too high on the performance index, but it's not affected us. It's only put us second and very closely behind McLaren. So I'm not really thinking it's going to be a problem here as we come into this final sprint qualifying of the season. But a lap that I made 1 or 2 mistakes in, and we are only 7th with Charles Leclerc 8th in the sprint qualifying, and with Verstappen and Norris 2nd and 3rd. This opened things up just a little bit, so maybe I was wrong. Maybe losing that upgrade has impacted us.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? We're back here in Losail for a track that's 3.34 miles long. There are 16 turns around its unique 3-prong shape and just a single DRS zone out of turn 16. It's fast and it's flowing, and there's a good overtaking opportunity with DRS down the... Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Sunshine, Leclerc, Tsunoda, Perez, Hamilton, Stroll, Behrman, Joe, Albon, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Sainz and Théo Pourchaire. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do.
So the final sprint of Season 3 is about to get underway as the sun starts to set in Qatar. It's go! And we've got an okay start. I thought we were going to get past Gasly there, who didn't really get away well. Leclerc's up the inside. I'm taking the high side of turn 1, and that has worked out for us because we've got past Gasly. We're diving down the inside of Fernando Alonso. Got him as well. We've moved up into P5, but I think Oscar Piastri is leading the way here with Verstappen 2nd, Russell 3rd, Norris 4th, we're in 5th. The sun blinding me as it goes down. We're having a look round the outside of Lando Norris. No way through there. Alonso and Gasly are behind in 6th and 7th, and Leclerc, I think, has held on to P8, so it's an okay start for him, but we're up a couple of places, and crucially, we're fighting our championship rival, Lando Norris, here. As we come to end the first lap, Piastri leads Verstappen, who's got Russell all over him. Norris in 4th and we're in 5th. Piastri sets the fastest lappers, leading it on that one. Here we go for the inside of Norris. He covers to the outside. We switch round the outside of the long-term one. No, Norris keeping the place. Verstappen and Russell are side by side, but George Russell gaining P2 there. He is on a mission today in that Mercedes, and that's going to make things harder for us to move forward, especially if those two are battling and Piastri's getting away. We're diving down the inside of Lando Norris with a very late lunge, clipping Max Verstappen, but we've been able to get ahead of the McLaren and move up into P4. That was such a late lunge, but we managed to make that work. And now we're in P4 behind Max Verstappen. We've got a bit deep. Norris is stuck his nose on the inside. There's contact. And we've gone wide. And Norris has taken a bit of damage from that for sure. We have dropped down to 7th. And Charles Leclerc nearly going into us. But we have fallen to P8. So we've come off a little bit worse from that one. And Max Verstappen will be rubbing his hands together, watching his two championship rivals come together. Russell, another fastest lap, he is really going for it. And now Alonso and Gasly are having a look at Lando Norris. I think they've both made a move there. Alonso has gone up to 4th. I think Gasly's gone up to 5th. Leclerc is 7th behind Lando Norris. And we're going to take a dive up the inside of Charles Leclerc. Try and get past our teammate. He's not going to do me any favours in this championship. So we're having to just sit behind him and bide our time a bit. This sprint started well, but it's just taken a bit of a turn. I'm hoping we can recover from where we're at, though. I'm hoping we can get back up to sort of P4 or 5. Look at this! 3 wide going into 1. Norris, Leclerc and Gasly. Gasly drops a couple of places. Norris moves up to 5th. Leclerc to 6th. And we're now having to deal with Gasly. This is nuts, the first half of this sprint race. But this is why we want to see sprint races. We want wheel-to-wheel action. That's Lando Norris. Lando Norris locking up and going wide. He has dropped down to P8. And that moves me into P6. Right behind my teammate Leclerc. Gasly got caught out by that. I think we were trying to get past him anyway. And we move up as Gasly, who got caught out, I think, by Norris, loses a position to us. And now we're trying to stay on the back of Charles Leclerc, or should I say trying to stay in the DRS of Leclerc. But Leclerc is so quick at this stage, and we're actually dropping him now. And Pierre Gasly is getting ready to have a look for P6, so we're not entirely safe here. If anything, we're the ones that are under threat. We're not really making an impact on Charles Leclerc, but we have managed to get close to this lap. And Norris is dropping further, so his weekend is going from bad to worse. We're meanwhile trying to get past Charles Leclerc down the inside. Leclerc still on my left. He is not giving up the position. He is not giving me any help in this championship whatsoever. And we drop to 6. Charles, what are you doing, man? Not offering us any favours at all here. And I'm trying to stay close and maybe have a lunge down the inside, but it's not going to happen here. But Leclerc, I think he's starting to struggle a little bit, and that'll make him vulnerable for us as a car going very slowly up ahead. That's Oscar Piastri going slowly ahead. Oh, that is gutting for him. He was leading the way for McLaren, but it's all gone wrong. And Lando Norris, I've heard on the radio, has got a problem, so his day is going from bad to worse. So Lando Norris having an issue with his car. Meanwhile, we're having one last go at Charles Leclerc down the inside. Leclerc covers. We try and go around the outside, but Leclerc has parked his car in the middle. And here's Lance Stroll trying to go around the outside of us now. And Stroll carrying on that move, and Stroll's got it done! Incredible scenes in Qatar as Stroll demotes us to P6 after moving up to 5th with Piastri dropping out. Lance Stroll has decided, I want that place, and that, well, thanks to Charles Leclerc doing us no favours, that's done us even fewer favours in the championship. We have a chance to gain points on Norris here, but it's just not working out. It's all going horribly wrong. And now we've gone deep once again. I'm trying not to let Tsunoda get a wheel up the inside there and have another collision. Here comes Tsunoda. He's going to go round the outside here. We're not done yet. Tsunoda gets the move done. Tsunoda's completed the move. Now we've got Gasly up the inside. Gasly sticking down the inside. We've gone off the circuit. We've got to let him through. Perez now having a go. No way through for him. Hamilton all over my rear. And we're going to finish this sprint race in P8 and score 1 point. Well, that was a dramatic end. We were fighting for 4th at the beginning of the lap, and we drop down to P8. That is not the sprint race we needed. And we only gain 1 point on Lando Norris, but that's enough to make the points deficit increase and give him that bit more to do in the feature race. Lando only making it to P11 then with the car issue he had. I went wide. He tried to stick his nose up the inside where no space really existed. That pushed me wide, and his pace was actually all right up until the point he locked up. Then when he locked up, I heard, unseen obviously by us, that Norris had an issue with his car and that he was slowing down pretty much straight after that, and that's what made him tumble to P11. But we managed to take P8. George Russell taking the win, but Max Verstappen closing the gap to 36 points. What will happen in the race?
A high-speed test that will set the grid for tomorrow's race. So welcome along.
So it was George Russell who won the sprint race. Then it was Max Verstappen in second, and he's closed the gap to 36 points. So now he only needs to score us in this Grand Prix, outscore us, should I say, by 10 points to keep his hopes alive. So Verstappen genuinely bringing himself back into play here, but it's going to be a hard race to do that. And we've topped the timesheets in Q1. Out is Behrman, Hulkenberg, Albon, Porsche, and I think that was Ocon I saw at the bottom. Q2 then, and I'm hoping for less mistakes than what we made in SQ3 when we only managed to qualify 7th. This time round, smoother, car is on rails, and I'm more happy with the way the handling of the car is as we head into the final parts of qualifying. Q2 is about to be finished, and we've just topped the timesheets again. Norris in second, clinging to hope there. He's still 39 points off of us, so it's going to be a taller order for Lando Norris to get himself into this fight. But as we now get into Q3, that's crucial. Verstappen is only in P6 at this moment. If we can top the timesheets, we can make life very difficult for Max Verstappen here. And you know what? That final sector felt pretty sweet. That final corner didn't feel quite as sweet. But as we head for the line, what have we done? I think it's pole position. It is pole position for the Qatar Grand Prix. And that is going to give Norris and Verstappen a bit of a headache. They're 5th and 7th. How will that shake out after penalties though? We will soon see.
Welcome back to Qatar and the Lusail International Circuit, a track that has a long history for two-wheeled motorsport action. But tonight it's the four wheels of F1 that are back, and Lewis Hamilton going for another win here. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Sunshine lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Norris, Perez, Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Joe, Stroll, Magnussen, Gasly, Sainz, Hulkenberg, Albon, Teo Pourchaire, Ocon, Behrman and Oscar Piastri. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always...
Norris starts 4th, Verstappen starts 6th. That's good for them, but that's not where they need to be as we head into the start of a race that could clinch the championship. And we are underway here in Qatar. It's an okay-ish start. We move across to cover Charles Leclerc. He's moved to the left now and going down the inside. Who is that? That's Lando Norris. Norris going for the lead, not able to make it. And Charles Leclerc takes the lead. Lando Norris in 2nd, we're in 3rd. But that's okay because we're still in position on Lando Norris to take the championship. We're ahead of Max Verstappen at this stage, so he's irrelevant in all of this. But currently leading the way is Charles Leclerc. And if Lando Norris finishes 2nd, we are good to finish where we are for now. In fact, we could probably drop down to 4th, 5th and maybe 6th and still be okay to win the title. So no real pressure on me here, and I don't want to overly attack this, but I do want to get position on Norris. I want to seal this with as good a result as possible. Norris all over the back of Charles Leclerc as we come to end the first lap. Norris is trying to get on with it and get away. Leclerc into the last corner, leading this Grand Prix. Norris 2nd, we're in 3rd, Russell 4th, Perez 5th, and I've got no idea where Max Verstappen is at this stage. Here goes Lando Norris. Is he going to have a look at Leclerc? No, because he's having to defend because we're having a look. And Norris defending that inside line well, holding on to P2. But as we come to the end of the 2nd lap, DRS is now activated. And it's George Russell with the fastest lap as Lando Norris is going for Charles Leclerc, and I'm going for them both! Down the inside we go! Can we pull this move off? Yes, we do! Overtaking both Norris and Leclerc to take the lead here in Qatar. While Norris was watching Leclerc, he didn't see me coming. We go down the inside and take the lead. And that's good going. But it is only lap 3 in this race, and there's a long, long way to go. Norris not having it. He's going down the inside of this section. Norris sticking it down the inside. That's such an aggressive move. I'm quite willing to let him do that because we've got a DRS point coming. So I'm quite happy to let him take the lead, knowing that we've got a DRS spot coming on the straight. It's an old, tried and tested tactic of mine on this game, especially at Bahrain. And look at that, we've blasted back past Lando Norris before we even get to the corner. Norris down to 2nd. He may even have further problems with Russell behind, as we're now on to lap 4 out of 29. And in fact, Russell and Leclerc are having their own little battle. End of lap 4. Here comes Lando Norris once again. He's not giving up, is he? Lando Norris wants this win. I can tell he wants to go after this win, but he's going to have to get up past us first. And I'm just parking my car in all the right places at this stage, draining my battery in all the right places, and just controlling the pace of this race. No need to do anything overly heroic, especially with the points deficit the way it is. Norris now going for the outside. I'm covering the inside, and Norris I think has got it done this time, but we're sticking that inside line. Norris managing to get it done round the outside, and Lando Norris retakes the lead of this Qatar Grand Prix. But I'm not overly fussed about that. He can take the lead. With him leading, I need to finish in P4 to hold on to the championship and clinch it here. So again, not really overly fussed, but I'm hassling the rear of Lando Norris because I want to get back past him. I would like to do it with a victory if I can. End of lap 6 now. We're right behind Lando Norris. We've got the straight. We've got DRS. We've got a little bit of battery left. And we're now going for the inside on Lando Norris. He covers. So we move to the outside. Sweep round. and retake the lead here at Qatar. This is great racing here. And Norris dropping down to second in a crucial race, and Max Verstappen still not making an appearance in the top 5. So I'm not really sensing any kind of threat from the Dutchman at this stage. But I tell you who is making a threat. It's George Russell holding on to our pace. Norris trying to go around the outside there, but I've covered the inside line, and Norris will just have to wait. That was a little bit sideways out the corner, but so far, look at the train behind us now. And thank you to the balancing out the field twist of R&D. It has made things so close, as Norris now having another go for the lead. He's pushing to get alongside, but we're draining the battery. Here comes Lando Norris, having a look down the inside with Russell on the outside. Is Russell going to sweep round and take both of us? No! And there's contact between Russell and Norris. But George Russell moves up to second. Lando Norris moves up to third. And we're now under threat from Leclerc and Alonso. And, well, Leclerc's not going to do me any favours. He is going to go for it if he senses the opportunity. Back onto the pit straight, lap 8 out of 29. Here comes George Russell now. He's the one applying the pressure to Lando Norris. And he's going down the inside of Lando Norris. And he's overtaking Norris. And guess what? We're going through as well. We are following George Russell through and moving up into P2 ahead of Lando Norris, who goes from first to third on that pit straight. And now, can we apply pressure to George Russell, or is he going to pull ahead of us? If he gets a second clear, then Russell is going to be looking pretty safe for the rest of the race. So I want to get after him if I can, but at the same time, if Russell wins the race, I'm not overly fussed. But right now we're ahead of both our championship contenders. That's a little bit wide there as well. That's not going to help us. And look at that, Russell has indeed cleared a second on us. And as we go through lap 11, Russell is just about holding the gap at a second to a second and a half. So George Russell is doing everything he needs to get away and potentially win this Qatar Grand Prix. Norris is second, trying to hassle me, trying to find a way through, but it's just not happening for him at this stage of the race. Pushing hard to try and get back into that DRS zone of Russell, but it's just not going to happen. Russell is pulling away out front. I'm draining the battery on the straight, and that is just about keeping me ahead of Lando Norris. He might have a go here. No, he's too busy fending off Leclerc. Here comes Charles Leclerc, and Leclerc trying to get both of us here, and Leclerc having a look, and he's forcing his way through there. Leclerc up to second again, doing me no favours in the championship. Into the pits we go at the end of lap 14. Right, let's please have a nice drama-free pit stop. We've not had many of them this season, but if they're going to happen anywhere, I need it here. And of course, the front right is slow on, a 5.2 second stop, which really doesn't help things for us. Traditions. And we've now dropped down into currently P8. But I think there are cars that are ahead of us that still need to pit. And we're currently in 9th ahead of Hamilton. And crucially then, Lando Norris also having problems in his pit stop. Because Norris, who was right behind us, is now down to 11th. So Norris now stuck behind Hamilton and is still behind us. So that's actually weirdly worked out better for me than I thought it would. And we end up now all over the back of Sergio Perez in the RB. He might decide to try and hold me back to help out Verstappen, but I have no idea where Max is in the grand scheme of things. But one thing I am sure about is that we're getting past Perez as soon as possible. He tries to defend. Hamilton, meanwhile, has got Norris all over him. Surely Lando Norris is going to get past Lewis Hamilton. And as sure as anything, we're going to get past Sergio Perez. So this has dropped us to about 4th. We're now down to 4th. with Fernando Alonso ahead in third, Charles Leclerc in second, and Alex Albon has dropped out of the race. So we have lost out 2 positions because of that pit stop, but it's impacted Lando Norris even worse. So as it stands now, with Norris and Verstappen behind us, wherever we finish ahead, we will be world champion. Of course, we've still got to get to the end. Setting the fastest lap is a good way to go about it, and overtaking Fernando Alonso is an even better way to go about it. Moving up into P3 in this Qatar Grand Prix, Charles Leclerc now up ahead, and George Russell a further couple of and a half seconds ahead. You know what though, I don't think we're going to be able to catch George Russell. I think at this stage that's going to be just about too tall an order. But I would like to catch Charles Leclerc, and I would like to try and take P2. But you know what, I'm not overly fussed about that. We're going to win the title staying where we are in P3. But this one is for pride as we close in on our teammate. 9/10 is the gap heading into the DRS zone, and we gain even more in the third sector. We're so fast round there, and now we head round the final corner, and surely we are in position to take P2. Leclerc holding that middle line. We're draining the battery using DRS. Look how much speed advantage we have. Down the inside of Charles Leclerc we go, and we haven't quite made that work, have we? Leclerc on the inside, and we do sweep round, but Leclerc's back on the inside. We're side by side with our teammate, and we forced him wide, forced the issue, and moved up into P2. We did cut the first corner just a little bit though. It was a bit naughty, and I do feel like maybe the correct thing to do would be to give that position back. But Leclerc, I think, is going to take it anyway down this straight here. I'm going defensive. I'm not fighting that one because we needed to give that back anyway. So back up to second. Go Charles Leclerc. But I have to be careful because Fernando Alonso is right there, ready to take away our podium position. Perez and Tsunoda are fighting for 5th. And I think Lando Norris is right behind him. We're staying within a second of Leclerc, but Russell has got further ahead, and Russell has looked super fast all through this Grand Prix weekend, so it will not surprise me one bit to see George Russell taking the maximum points you can take from a race weekend here at Qatar. And if only he was closer in the fight, this could have made things very, very interesting. Leclerc in second, we're in third, we're in DRS range, which means we're going to try and attack. Alonso is staying with me here. We're going down the inside of Leclerc. He covers, so we switch to the outside and retake P2 a bit more legally than we did last time from our teammate. And that is P2 for us now in this Qatar Grand Prix. And that's probably going to give Lando Norris all the more headaches, although I don't think he particularly cares after how badly his race has gone. 3 laps to go here, and Charles Leclerc is coming back at us. Leclerc not willing to let this go. Alonso also coming back at us. Can we hold the position from either of them? Leclerc's got through, but now I'm trying to fight off Fernando Alonso. Can we fight him off? Yes, we have. Alonso, it's not happening, mate. You're not getting through this time. It's lap 27 of 29, and Fernando Alonso not quite able to make the move happen there. And we're now trying to stay within that second of Leclerc. Oh, that's rhyming, that. Anyway, 3 laps left of this Qatar Grand Prix. At this stage, the championship is pretty much done and dusted as we head into this final lap now. George Russell has had an incredible weekend here at Qatar, and he's been dominant from the moment he took the lead. He just disappeared, and we never saw sight nor sound of him. Charles Leclerc is second. We're going to take P3 though, and with that, take the championship in Season 3, doing it with 5 race wins out of 24, which you wouldn't believe it, but the consistency we've had this season has been pretty awesome. Every weekend just trying to maximise our points and what we take from it, and as we head out of the last corner, Nothing is going to stop us now. George Russell wins the Qatar Grand Prix, but we finish P3 and become champion of the world. Get in! Come on!
World champion. What a drive, what a season. Well done.
And so the celebrations begin, and well-earned they are indeed. It might have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level at the very top is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. And the best of British and the best on the track. It's George Russell who wins.
And it's always good, Crofty, to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take the top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
5 race wins, 1 sprint win, 1 championship. And for me, I think the consistency has really helped. We've had different drivers topping it pretty much every weekend. And where we've stayed consistently maxing out our points, that is what I think has helped. But it's a win for George Russell. Leclerc second, we get third, Alonso fourth, commiserations to Lando Norris in fifth, Tsunoda and Perez 6th and 7th, and Hamilton, Stroll and Gasly round out the points. Max Verstappen in the end having a nightmare and finishing 13th. Commiserations to him too. That was a hard fought championship, and going into Abu Dhabi knowing we've won it, it takes pressure off. There you go. No one can catch us now. Norris is 45 behind. Verstappen 52. Russell 54. What could have been if he'd had a couple of more wins in the season. Alonso is 5th. Leclerc 6th. Hamilton 7th. Piastri, Stroll and Tsunoda rounding out the top 10 of the championship currently. And every driver has scored a point so far this season. With 1 race to go, how many can add to their tallies? In the Constructors' Championship, well, I think we've won that. I genuinely think we've won the Constructors' Championship, and we actually have. No catching in either championship. That has been a wonderful season. Thank you so much for watching this instalment of Career Mode. Don't forget to leave a like and hit subscribe for more content from me. Until the next time, I have been Joe, TTFN, Tata for now, take care, and I'll see you in the next upload. Enjoy the rest of your day.